Hello everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Tina Goldstein from Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. Just so you know, there's a coloring book that you can get through Amazon. Just follow the link in my description and you can get a coloring book to show me how you color to how I draw. Okay, pencils first, and then Sharpies. So, if you want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description, and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Okay, Tina or Porpentina. Here's the thing. So, that's her full name, right? Porpentina. The problem is, it's been in books, right? Well, you know what I'm trying to say. We've never really heard it said out loud, so I don't know whether it's Porpentina or Porpentina or Porpentia. You know what I mean? Porpentina. That's kind of the downside. The same thing happens with like Fortnite. It's like you never hear the names, so who knows exactly what the names are, So, same thing with her. She's called Tina. So, I figure let's just call her Tina and just not worry about who's right, who's wrong, that kind of thing, I sat here for I don't know how long, like what should I call her? Prish posh. And then I just said, you know what, Tina. Go with Tina. That's what they call her. That's what she goes by. You're not offending anybody by saying it wrong. Just go with that, right? So that's what I went with, Tina. And I'm going for well, you've seen the pose. You know where we're going with this. I say it like you don't know, but again, I'm talking like I haven't drawn this yet, because technically I haven't, right? But by the time you watch it, I have drawn it, and it's done. You see the photo, you see the thumbnail, you see what I did. I don't know yet. But that's kind of the fun thing about, you are my future, I am your past. I like talking about that, how I haven't seen this yet, but by the time you watch this, you have. So I'm speaking to you from the past. You're watching me in the future. Crazy, right? I mean, at your time, it's not the future. It's present, right? But it's not my present. My present is drawing this right now, which is in your past. It's a whole strange, what do you call it? Timeline, future timeline, that kind of weird thing. I don't know, it just gives me something to talk about while I'm drawing. So it's going to be a little small. Not as small, but I'm just going for a different angle, so I'm getting a different feel for size. But I'm trying to do something different. Like I try to make it easier to draw by showing you like the front view and stuff like that. But I know sometimes we got to mix it up. We got to try different stuff. So I'm trying like more of a profile view. I guess not a profile view, a 3/4 view, than a straight on view. The downside is, I already can't draw or don't have time to draw likenesses, right? So the downside is this is going to look even less like the actual actress and more like a cosplay person. Because if you're new here, I always say that I don't have time to draw likenesses. I could, but I'm trying to get this done real fast within 30 minutes so you can get out of here and go do other stuff, and that only gives me time to get it to look like someone who is dressed up like Tina, right? So yeah, so usually that's what I say is like, this is gonna look like someone who is cosplaying as Tina as opposed to the actual actress. Just because they're just, I don't have the time to do it. I could, but again, it would take me a good hour, you know, and I know you got other stuff to do, and we're gonna keep it loose, keep it simple, and not focus on me trying to draw the perfect likeness. It does get to me though every time I say I can't do it. I can, and I feel bad every time I say I can't, because I'm like, no, you know you can, and I'm trying to like hype myself up, saying don't say you can't. You absolutely can. You know, I'm trying not to be negative, is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to talk about my skills as an artist and not talk negatively about them. Like, you know, I have skills, right? You should all talk about your skills and brag and say, yeah, I could do that, you know? So every time I catch myself saying, I can't draw likenesses, absolutely I can. I just don't have the time. Okay, so let's see how I'm going to draw this hand. I want the knuckles up like that. Ooh, you know what? I don't think I've got a good picture of her. Oh, yeah, I do. I got a picture of her wand. Just a stick. No big deal. What gets tricky is her what do you call it? Her collar, because her hair kind of flows out like her collar, and I'm not drawing her hat, so I had to make a decision about her hair. And the reason I say it's tricky is because it all kind of falls together. Like, I was trying to make it look separate, but her hair, it pretty much goes out the same way of the collar, so it's like you got to make a decision as to where it's going to go. I think that's good. That's a rough sketch, but that's good enough that I can add the detail with the Sharpie. So let me erase some of these sketch lines, and then we'll get going. What I like to do is just throw the first few lines down, trying to get the placement, the proportion, and the position, the 3 Ps. And as I get more confident with those, I start pressing harder, right? The first few lines are super light, super light. So when I start erasing like this, those lines disappear pretty fast. The sketch disappears very easily. Whereas the confidence lines take more pressure. So if I just erase lightly, just enough, I can get rid of the sketchiness, keep the confidence, and live my life that way too. Get rid of your sketchiness, keep your confidence. You'll go very far. Okay, I think that's good enough. I can see where we're going to go. And it's not going to stand out over my Sharpie, so I say we welcome all the skippers and get going. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen. Most of the fine point, but the pen's a little finer than a fine point. You can find things that a fine point can't quite find. I've erased a majority of the sketch, but left myself enough to see where we're going to go. And if you want to see more Fantastic Beasts, check out that playlist somewhere over here. Or just check out the playlist in general. Do a search of what you're looking for, because I've drawn so many things. I may have already drawn what you're looking for. So check it out, see what you can find, and if not, give me a shout and I'll see what I can do. I'm going to start with her face. Now, if these are her eyes, she's kind of turned this way just slightly. So think of it looking at you like this, then this one's going to be closer, further away, okay? So I'm going to draw the top of the lids. Something like this. Looks about good to me. So I'm going to draw the retina. Again, this is super tiny, so I'm going to draw the retina. Sorry, my Texas accent kicks in with the retina. Like that. And again, it's so tiny that I'm going to just barely dab the pupil. So I'm going to just barely hit it like that, so see if I can get it in the center. Ooh, that one's going to start to bleed, so I got to be careful. Now, because this is so tiny, it'll bleed if I do that bottom line. You're welcome to do it, but I don't. I just kind of come in like that, kind of imply it, and I let color take care of it. Now, I am going to try to give her like a little bit of an eyelash on top, just to give her a more feminine eye. Same thing over here. Sometimes like that, it ends up getting a little thick, almost like a cat eye, but I mean, that's the trouble of doing it with a tiny Sharpie on a tiny drawing like this. That's the chance you take sometimes. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw her eyebrows. Something like that. Okay, and so because normally I don't draw the nose, the bridge of the nose, but because I have her head turned, you can see that bridge just a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw that right there, just to show that that's the edge. But that's all I'm gonna do, because any more, it's gonna be way too thick. I wanna keep it subtle, but Sharpies are never subtle, so I'm just trying to play with what I can do. So I'm gonna draw the nostril over here, the hole, and a little bit of the nose, like that. Again, I'm being very subtle with, and that's probably too high, honestly. I'm being very subtle with my Sharpies. So I'm gonna try to compensate for that, bring the mouth up just a little bit, a little too short, like I should have made it longer. It squishes in the face just a little bit, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. Sometimes it's not a perfect drawing. So again, it's super tiny, so I'm gonna try to draw the top lip. And sometimes it bleeds in too much because it's so tiny, like there. See, now it looks like a black top, but that's okay, that's fine, because I'm going to leave it more open at the bottom, close it off, and then I'll add some color in there like that. So again, the face is a little shorter than before, so I'm going to shorten up my sketch just a little bit and compensate for that. Again, it's all right if it doesn't come out perfect, you know, because who knows, that doesn't mean the drawing I did in the first place was perfect. This is just, it's perfectly where I am now. That's how you look at it, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be perfect for where you are right now. All right, so there's the side of her head. Oops, her hair is going to be coming in right there. Now I'm thickening up my edges just a little bit, because when I switch over to this Sharpie, you're going to see a huge difference in line width. So I'm kind of matching where it's going to go. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to, because this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, we'll meet somewhere in between. I'm just explaining to you why I draw how I draw. Alright, so it looks like her hair is kind of parted on the side just a little bit. I didn't quite do that, but I'll do that now. So I'm going to part over here. Just kind of draw some curves in here, because I want it a little wavy. And now I have an edge there, so her ear's covered up by her hair, so I'm not worried about that. So I'm just going to go ahead and just close it off now that I have that edge, and build on this hair part. So her hair, let's see, it's stylized, right? So I'm going to part it on the side like this, and then I'm going to bring it over and just kind of, I'm trying to capture a look, but it's kind of wavy all over the place, curly, right? So let's draw the back like this, right? That's capturing that look. And then I'm going to come out here and do some of those curves that are kind of wavy and out there. But it's like one length, right? So I'm trying to make it a little curvy without drawing every single hairline. I want to, but I need to let color take care of some of that and not draw all the lines in. So I like that. I'm happy with that. Let me draw like another hairline coming in like this, because we got some of it coming from the front. Something like that. But again, I say I'm not going to draw, then I keep drawing all these lines, right? Let me thicken this outer edge up. Again, you don't have to do this. I just know what's going to happen with mine, so I'm kind of matching where it's going to go. With me, it's more of an inking technique, right? Like if I was in the comics, that's how I would be doing it, inking it in the comics. If I was in comic books, making comic books and whatnot. I made a comic book. We'll talk about that another time. I mean, who hasn't made a comic book, right? But I actually got a little bit of publishing behind me. We'll talk about that later. Didn't really go anywhere. Like everybody else, I wanted to make my own comic book, you know. I keep saying we'll talk about it later, then I keep talking about it. All right. Okay, so there's her hair, and I got it kind of, I'm gonna follow that little mistake that I did right there. Kind of do some curls. Bring this one over here like this. All right, I like that. See, it's not quite her, but you know, it's my interpretation of someone who's dressed up like Tina Goldstein, right? Okay, so I'm gonna bring her neck in like this. Again, I'm doing this with a small Sharpie just because I messed up the nose and brought the entire thing up. So I kind of had to compensate for that. But see, look, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all. I've got her collar popped. I've seen some pictures with it up and some people saying like, why wasn't it up? It should have stayed up. It looked really good. So that's how I'm drawing it. So I'm gonna have her collar kind of coming up like this. And see how thick this is? That's what I mean. That's why I want to match it. So something like this, gonna bring it in. Now, she is kind of turned. So if these were her shoulders, again, they're turned. So this one's closer, this one's far away. So anything, like say this is the collar, it's gonna turn like this, it's gonna get skinnier. It's gonna look like it's coming closer together. So as we turn, everything falls into itself, right? So I'm gonna bring it in to where it meets right there. Same thing here. Just kind of meet and then do the other part of her collar. Like the what do you call it? Oh my God, I can't think of the name of it. Drawing a blank on names right now. Now, let's not worry about that. Her arm is in front of everything, so I need to draw that first. So, the lapel, that's what it's called. For some strange reason, it's the same piece of cloth. The lapel goes into the collar, but it's two different things, right? You'd think it's part of the coat, but anyway. So her shoulder is gonna come down like this. And then the other one, just so you get an idea of the turn, is like that, okay? We'll draw the neck and all the detail and all that in a second. I have to draw the shoulder first, or the arm, because it's in front of her body here. So here's her elbow. Here, let's do this. Down to her elbow like that. That's the crook of the arm, sorry, not the elbow. Bending the cloth like this to her what do you call it, the cuff. I'm gonna bring it back over here. Add some folds, some bends. Let's go ahead and do that with some smaller Sharpie because I can control it much easier here. Let's see. I don't want to go crazy. I do, but that's a problem, is I always do too much. So I'm trying to keep it simple. Now her shoulder is kind of like pushed right here. So I can go a little crazier with that. Like that's her sleeve going underneath the collar, right? And then this is going to come up here and do one of these. Material's bent. I'm trying to show that is behind this. Let's go ahead and draw the hand since we're here. Let's finish this off. I wanted to start drawing all this, but no, let's draw the hand. So we're pretty much doing this, right? We're drawing the curves, then a finger kind of bent like that. So it's like this, like holding it up. But as you see, that knuckle's up higher than the rest. So we're gonna kind of draw it like that, but from the underside. So I'm gonna draw the back of the hand up here. that finger bent. The other ones are flat. So see, it's not too terribly bent, but we're trying to keep it subtle, but we are trying to show that it's a little different than the rest. There's her pinky into the palm of her hand, and the thumb is pretty much behind the wand, so we can't really see it anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw the wand, and I'm doing it by hand. I don't care if it's not straight. If you want to get a ruler, you can. I just kind of want to draw it out and come back. But I'm doing it with the smaller Sharpie because I wanted it thin like that so I can color it in, and it's hard to do thin stuff like that with the big Sharpie. There you go. Let me fix some of this right there. Okay, and I want to draw more stuff on the hand, but I should just leave it alone. And we'll say maybe you can see like a knuckle like that, and then a knuckle like that, and then I'm gonna walk away. Cause see, I don't need to be drawn more. I want to, but I don't need to be. Okay. So, her coat is hanging down like this, and it's gonna be, the edge of it's gonna come all the way down here like this. So let's go ahead and draw it, all right? Disappearing behind her arm, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and just draw it like this because that's the edge of the coat. I wanted to define it. Like I can't draw through that. That's my edge, okay? So let's go ahead and do this one too. Now this one I'm gonna fly out like this because this one's over, and let's say if the coat closes like this side, I'm gonna have it open like that. So this one's over, this one's out. Kind of a little, not really an action pose, but kind of a movement more than anything. So this would close in around her hand, like you're not gonna see it. I'm gonna do like that, and then we'll say that it closes up like right there, right? So you can't really see where it closes. All right, so okay, those are the edges that are defined. So now I can build off of that. So let's draw her shoulder. Her arms coming down like this. And again, you can't really see as much anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, and I'm gonna draw, let's see, her shirt is kind of wide open. It's kind of hanging down here, so we're gonna go ahead and just draw it up like that. Draw it up like that, and there are layers to it that I guess I can go ahead and do like this. She's got a necklace and stuff like that, but there's layers to her shirt, almost like lacy little cool little design. That it just, if not anything else, it's just going to break up the negative space for us, so it's not just a big flat area, you know. Let's give her a little neck muscle like that, just to give her some life, I guess. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw the outside of her coat so you see the body width and all that stuff, right? So her back's here, right, coming down to the jacket. And the jacket I do kind of have against her body, so I'm going to kind of bring it back in, and that's going to be the edge of her leg, something like that, right? So I'll go ahead and close that off. There is a pocket like this, and that's just kind of a creasy fold, right? Just kind of wanted to show that it's bent and squished kind of thing. All right, so the inside of her, oh, maybe we should do the arm, you know, to finish that up. Let's do that, because that's just floating by itself anyway, so let's do that. We're gonna bring the arm down this way, and I try not to hit that line right there, because then it's gonna look like it's going through, so let's bring it down here just a little bit, okay? We kind of avoid that, so it doesn't look like one straight line. There's the other side coming down here, then there's her cuff, to her sleeve. Let's go ahead and close that off. Bring the underside over here to the elbow and kind of disappearing back behind her arm, so that's all we're really going to draw anyway, right? Again, creases and folds because the material is bent. And this hand is pretty much just doing this, nothing crazy, just hanging down, okay? So I'm going to draw the wrist out just a little bit, right? And then the hand. I'm going to draw the finger. Coming into the thumb. And the thumb just coming through like this. So see, nothing too crazy. And then the other fingers are going to be bent. Probably should come out just a little bit more. Are going to be bent behind it, right? So middle finger. Then the other ones are they're kind of behind them. So, you know, we don't have to worry about too much being seen. And we'll draw the pinky out a little bit more. Right? Just to mix it up. Hand's a little big. I didn't mean for it to be that big, but that's okay. Something like that. Most of the time, you know, this kind of gets the point across. And we're not too worried about those specific details, you know? So I'm happy with that. Okay, so coat's flying out, so I'm going to draw her clothes, right? I wanted to say cloths. Clothes, okay? So I'm going to bring her shirt in a little like this and tuck it in right here. And let's go ahead and add just a little bit of fluff and design. Again, kind of the pattern going up, just to show that it's a creased material. Nothing too crazy. Then pants. Pants are just simple. She's not wearing anything too crazy. Oh, you know what? There was like another coat underneath this, but oh well. Oh well, we're not going to worry about that. I can maybe try to draw it like this, but it's going to look like a second. Yeah, I guess we could. Let's do that. Okay, so let's say that there's a second coat like this, kind of underneath, because she does have like a regular, there's the shirt, there's a coat thing, and then this is her, like, what do you call them? Not like a raincoat, but a trench coat type thing. So this one's coming up here, again, disappears underneath that one. This one comes down here, floats like this. So there, it's still there, but we kind of got away with it. Pants here, coming out to here. They're kind of baggy pants, so I'm going to kind of come back like this. And her leg, all that disappears underneath that coat, so that's why I wasn't too worried about it either. Here's the other leg going back this way. Again, the wide cuff, something like that. And I don't know why I do this every single time. Instead of drawing like a square, I draw the outer line and then come back and connect it. I mean, it still looks good, but it's just a strange way to draw, you know? I'm going to draw this before I forget. So this is going to go back like this, come through here, come down, and reconnect up there for that flowing coat, right? Now, there's not a lot of detail in the pants, so I'm not too worried about lines. I'm just going to do something like this, just to show that it's a wrinkled material, like it's not flat, but I'm not too worried about pant lines or anything like that. I'm keeping it super simple with her. All right. All right. So now we're just drawing shoes. Nothing too crazy. So I'm gonna come down here for an ankle. Come down here for the back of the boot. Right. A shoe, boot, whatever you want to call it. Close it off. Bring that ankle back up. Let's do the same thing here, and then we'll add detail. So this one is coming down here like this. Point like that. There's that ankle to the back of the shoe. I'll add a heel in a minute. Something like that. And there we go. Now let's add some detail. So again, it's kind of a movement position with her. You know, more of a study, a pose. Go ahead and just do something like this, just to kind of give her some kind of shoe detail, right? Nothing too crazy. So there you go. I say we take care of the rest with color. So that is Tina Goldstein from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
So here's how I colored it. Tell me what you think in the comments below, or show me what you did in our Discord group. Just have fun and make it your own, because remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures on How I Draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.